Welcome to Safe Option Strategies. My name is Jeffrey Dunyan. I am the owner and founder of Safe Option Strategies, and I appreciate that you are taking some time out of your schedule right now. I know many of you that are watching this presentation, you received an email promotion and you clicked on a link that said something to the effect of click here for more information. I don't know if you were expecting a video or not, but you're here. Take a few minutes to listen to this video. This is going to be a short video, only about 30 minutes. And in that 30 minutes, I am going to show you a couple of things that are going to make the biggest difference in your financial future that you can imagine. Let me tell you really quickly why I say that and why I feel like I can be bold enough to say that. I know that if you're responding to an email or a promotional piece like you responded to, I don't even have to ask you the question. I know you are searching for a way to improve your trading. You either lost a lot of money in this recent downturn and you're looking for a way to get it back, or maybe you're happy with how the market has bounced back a little bit in these last few weeks and you believe it'll go back to where it was, but you need better than that. You're looking for better than that. You're either close to retirement, or you've just retired, or you're looking ahead a few years to a hopeful retirement, and you're saying, I've got to have more money, I've got to have more income coming in. I've got to improve what I'm doing. My broker is screwing up and losing money for me, or I'm just not making as much as I believe I should be able to make. I'm telling you, there is a way to fix it, and it's not that difficult, and anybody can learn it. And please, if you've taken the time to even get this far and log on to this presentation, watch this presentation for the next 30 minutes. I'm going to show you a couple of eye-opening things that I can teach you how to do that are going to make all the difference in the world in your trading. There's a couple of things I want to say before I get into the meat of this, and I'm gonna put all my cards on the table here. I'm gonna take a little bit of a risk myself and put all my cards out on the table. The reason I want you to watch this presentation is because I want you to join our education system. Okay, this is not a something for nothing proposition. Now, most of the time when you look at some type of a presentation like this and it has anything to do with investment education, the person giving the presentation, the person sharing the information with you, they get you all excited. They share a bunch of information with you. They get you all worked up, and then they say, look, it's only $50 a month to do this, or it's only $100 a month to do this, or you can do this with less than $500. And that's the hook. They get you in with a hook, and then they immediately say, well, you know, that's a small piece of it. If you really want to get good at this, you've got to learn all of this and this much more, and it's a couple $1,000s. And then once you've paid that, then they say, well, if you really want everything that we've got going on, it's like $6,000 or $8,000. And ultimately, their goal is to upsell you and upsell you and upsell you and get you into $15,000 worth of education. There's a whole bunch of companies that I'm aware of that claim to do what we're doing that want to sell you on something like that. I'm going to be way more upfront. I'm going to be way more honest with you. I can teach you how to make great money in the stock market, how to outperform the market averages by a dramatic amount every single year. I can teach you how to put your money to work for you and how to trade risk-free. I know that sounds bold, but I will teach you how to do it. But I'm going to tell you right now, it comes at a cost. Watch this presentation all the way to the end, and I'm going to do something else that you don't see very often in these types of videos. I'm going to show you the full price of our program, everything up front, the full price of our program if you were to get involved. And then I'm going to offer you a really attractive discount just in exchange for taking the time to watch this presentation. It's not a discount that you'll find on our website. It's reserved for those individuals who will take the time to watch this presentation. I'm going to offer you a way to do what we're doing at a very affordable price. But here's the reason I'm putting my cards on the table right up front. If you are looking for something for nothing, you've come to the wrong place. If you are looking for a get-rich-quick program and you only want to pay a few dollars for it, you've come to the wrong place. Our education is a fraction of the price of most of my competitors, and there is probably 5 to 10 times more content and more information that you'll get, but it's not free. Okay? The things in life that are worthwhile are typically not free. And you know that. I don't need to tell you that. I know you know that. But the problem that a lot of you have, if you're watching this presentation, the problem that a lot of people have is they've been burned before. They've spent money on someone else's program and it just has not produced the results they want. And that makes it hard. I know that makes it hard to go out and try again and to spend money again. I know it from personal experience. Back in 2000, 2001, I went through $35,000 worth of investment education. And I'm telling you, what I learned in exchange for that is a fraction of what I am teaching my students for less than 10% of that cost. Okay, I wanted to get all of that out in the open. I wanted to be upfront with that because the people who are going to stay logged on and listen to this to the end aren't going to be surprised. Okay, that's the reason I did this. I'm not the type of company, I'm not the type of person who's going to get you all excited and show you all this cool stuff and then try and sneak you in with one foot in the door for a little bit of money and then put you in this whole upsell routine. I don't do that. I can't stand it when people do it to me. I will not do that to you. Okay, so that's why I'm taking a risk that you're going to log off and not watch the presentation to the end. But I'll know if you get to the end of this presentation, I will know that I'm dealing with the people that are serious and the people that I can work with. Okay, I've had this stock chart up on the screen for a couple of minutes, and you all know what's happened in these last 6 or 8 weeks. Okay, we've had this black swan event that took us from record highs in the stock market to the fastest drop we've ever had that has been 20% or more. We've never had a drop of 20% or more in this short a period of time, with the one exception being Black Monday in 1987. If you've been in the market long enough to remember Black Monday of 1987, that was a one-day drop that was more than 20%. But do you know by the end, that happened in October of 1987, do you know by the end of October, the markets were positive? The US stock market was actually positive for the month of October. So with that one little anomaly, we've never experienced this big a drop in this short a period of time. And the problem with things like this is you can't react fast enough to it. No matter what people tell you, it is almost impossible to react. If you weren't prepared ahead of this, if you were not already prepared in advance of this drop, while it's falling, it's like trying to catch a falling knife. It's dangerous, it's risky. You just can't do it. You don't know where the bottom is going to be. You don't know the right time to get back in. Some people try and short the market when it starts doing things like this, and then they get burned almost as bad when it's coming back up. I was talking to someone just a couple of days ago who said right about here, he had his clients short the S&P 500. Now, if you don't know what that means, we'll teach you that. Okay, in other words, they were right about here, they were betting against the S&P 500 and the Dow. And for about a week and a half, that worked for them. And those that didn't get lucky and get out right then got burned when it all came back up. It's almost as hard when things rebound like this as it is to survive this drop, because somewhere right in here, we start positioning ourselves to take advantage of a downward movement, and maybe we profit temporarily from that, and then this snapback does almost as much damage as that initial drop did. You know, I've listened to some ads on the radio over the last couple of weeks. There's a company out there claiming that they predicted this would happen, and they're selling people a $10,000 fancy computer program and education program where they promise you can pick all the highs and you can pick all the lows, and they're claiming that they predicted this, and that's why you should spend all this money on their program. And I won't mention their name, but I'll tell you something about this company. Since the markets fell dramatically and drastically in 2008, remember the three major indexes were down almost 50% each in 2008. Since 2008, this company that claims they predicted this, since 2008, they've predicted this on average 3 times every year. And that means that for this one time that they're claiming to have got it right, and you should buy $10,000 worth of education because they got it right here, they've gotten it wrong almost 60 times, 3 times a year for 20 years. They've been wrong 60 times, and because they were right this time, you should spend $10,000 on their education because they can teach you how to do this stuff. Folks, the reason stuff like this is so hard is because we can't predict this. We cannot predict that something like this is going to happen, but you can be prepared for it in advance. And you can be prepared for it in advance by learning to do the things that we teach you to do right here. Okay, Safe Option Strategies provides a complete education on everything you need to know about trading, and we take the exact opposite approach of the get rich quick thing. The reason I spent the time telling you what I told you at the very beginning of this presentation about if you're looking for a get rich quick thing, if you're looking for something for nothing, we're not the right company for you. The reason I told you that is this: I am so fed up with the companies that promise people, you can take $2,000 and turn it into $2 million and fly around the world on a private jet, just like I'm doing, and I'll teach you how to do it. No, they can't teach you how to do that, because what they're doing is not duplicatable. It's just plain simple lucky. Maybe the guy trying to pitch that did that himself, but he got lucky and he doesn't know how to teach you to do that. Hey, I love it. This is kind of faded away and isn't as popular as it was maybe a year and a half ago. But I love the guy that said, I had $4,500 to retire with and things were looking bleak. And I learned this amazing method and turned $4,500 into $50,000 per month income. And I can teach you how to do the same thing. And that's just a flat out lie. But the problem is people go out and spend money on programs like that. They go out and spend $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000 on a program like that, and then they see a presentation like mine, and I'm saying, we're not about get rich quick. We're about protecting your money. We're about growing it aggressively but safely, taking the opposite approach of the get rich quick stuff. And you're going to have to pay a little bit to learn how to do this. And I get this. I understand. You feel burned. Why would I trust this guy when the last guy I paid some money to didn't pay off for me? Well, let me show you why. Okay, our strategies are focused 100% on protecting your money, and that's the big gigantic difference. Okay, I'm going to take the rest of this presentation now to show you how to set up risk-free trades. I'm not going to give you all the secret ingredients. I'm not going to share all the secret sauce with you. I'm going to show you how you can set up a risk-free trade. The education that we provide at Safe Option Strategies will teach you how to turn a risk-free trade into a very profitable trade. But it all starts with learning how to not lose any money. And then I'm going to introduce you to a concept called trade adjusting. Then let me say one thing about trade adjusting right now. I have probably 50 competitors in investment education that will now claim that they teach spread trade adjusting, that they teach you how to adjust trades. I was introduced to this back in 2002, 2003. I started teaching it in 2003, and I started teaching it myself in 2006, 2005, 2006 is when I started teaching it through my own company. Okay. I am aware of a couple of companies that teach trade adjusting similar to what I do. but they leave it very incomplete. And I'm aware of about 50 companies that claim to teach trade adjusting, and they don't have a clue what they're doing. And I know this because I look at what they're teaching. I know who my competitors are. I look at what they're doing. And I'm telling you folks, they don't know how to teach you how to adjust a trade. The idea of trade adjusting is when you take a trade that is going against you and you turn it into a profitable trade, or you take a trade that's going against you and you change the direction of the trade and you get a really small loss or a break even or a small profit instead of taking a big loss. This comes through the rolling of options. This comes through the addition of a new option instrument. There's a handful of different ways to do this, and there's a lot of variations of it. And if you're going to learn how to adjust trades, learn from one of the companies that's been doing it for a decade before other people started claiming to do it, and who really knows what they're doing. Folks, our track record of trading, I'll put up against anybody in the industry because of its consistency and because anyone can learn how to do it and duplicate it. It's not one of these get rich quick things that you cannot duplicate. That's the problem with these other things I talked about, the turning 2,000 into 2 million, turning $4,500 into 50,000 a month income. A month, not a year, a month. The problem with those is they're not duplicatable. What I'm doing is duplicatable because under any market conditions, you can do it over and over and over again. Let's start out with how to trade with zero risk, okay? Some of you are familiar with this, some of you aren't. If you're brand new to the world of trading, if you're brand new to the world of options, I can teach you everything you need to know about trading options. In fact, free of charge on the website that you're on right now. If you go back to the home page of the website that you're on right now, I have, I think, over a dozen classes from my education program that are free of charge that will introduce you to the basics of the stock market and option trading. And you're not going to start learning the strategies. You're not going to learn the risk-free stuff. You're not going to get the help on your actual trading. But if you want to just learn the basics of stock and option trading, I'll give you that free of charge. Okay, what you're looking at here is obviously an all-in-one trade ticket. And this has the stock, this has a short call option and a long put option. Now, I'm not going to take time in this class to teach you all of those if you're new to those. A lot of you listening to this presentation, you know what a short call is, you know what a long put is, you know how some of this works. But let me show you the basics of this trade. And let me erase my drawings here real quick. Okay, let me show you the basics of this trade. Right now today, if you went out and bought shares of AMD, AMD is Advanced Micro Devices, very popular company for trading purposes. It was the darling of the NASDAQ last year, gained almost 100% last year in profit. It was fantastic. But like a lot of other companies with this pullback that we've had, this bear market that we've had recently, they've taken a big hit. But right now today, you could go out and buy shares of AMD for right around $57, a little over $57. You could get someone else, another trader in the market, to pay you. This is money someone's paying you, $4.97 per share. And you could spend $4.18 per share to protect your stock with a long put option. Now let me tell you what we have basically done here. What we have done is purchased a stock, given someone else the right to buy our stock, but only if they'll do it at $70 a share or more. So we're getting a $57 stock, and then in exchange for this money, someone gets to buy our stock from us at $70. They're not going to do that unless it goes over $70, right? So we're going to make the profit between here and here if they decide to buy our stock away from us. That wouldn't be a bad thing. $13 a share profit if they buy the stock away from us. And the reason I chose AMD is because AMD has an earnings report coming up later this week. And when they report that earnings, they're either going to start moving up towards $70 a share, in which case we'll be profitable, or they're going to drop below 57 where they're trading right now, And at $57 a share, we have an insurance policy. This option, this long put option right here, gives us the right to sell this stock for $57 a share, no matter where it goes. The stock could go down to $40 a share. It could go down to $30 a share. It could go down to $10 a share. It was only a couple of years ago, AMD was trading below $20 a share. So that's not out of the question that it could do that. I don't think it will, but it could. And it doesn't matter how far it goes down. We can sell it for $57 a share. Now, because we can sell it for 57 and our total investment in this trade, we have a total investment of less than 57, we have a trade that has zero risk going through this earnings report. We have zero risk because we have the right to sell the stock at $57. Now, our zero risk scenario expires in a few weeks, but that's okay. One of the things we teach at Safe Option Strategies is what to do after that earnings report. How to adjust this trade if it's going up, how to adjust it if it's going down, so that we create a scenario where not only can we not lose money, but we can turn it into a much more profitable thing and stay protected. Okay, this is one example. We could do the same thing with Apple. If you had enough money to go out and buy 100 shares of Apple right now, it's an expensive stock. 100 shares costs a lot of money on Apple. But if you had enough money to go out and buy 100 shares of Apple right now, guess what? Apple's got their earnings this week. You could go buy 100 shares of Apple, have an insurance policy at $280 and have a total cost in the trade of less than $280, and you would have a zero risk trade as Apple reports their earnings. And they're either going to take off and start going up and you profit all the way up to $310 a share or more, and you have no risk in the trade. ExxonMobil reports their earnings at the end of this week. You could go buy shares of ExxonMobil and have a zero risk trade. You could go buy shares of Coca-Cola and have a zero risk trade. You want a more affordable stock? You could go out and buy shares of Under Armour. UAA is Under Armour, the competitor to Nike. Guess what? You'd actually have 4 cents per share of risk in this trade. Not quite a zero risk trade, but I'll take the 4 cents of risk because I could do this trade right here for $1,000 and have zero risk and have the ability to make over 25% profit if this thing takes off to the upside. Right now today, even with some recovery in the last few weeks, right now today, the markets are still down almost 20% from their high 8-9 weeks ago. If I could make 25% and have close to zero risk, I would take that trade every day of the week. And this is what we teach you how to do. This is what we teach you how to do. Folks, you can trade with zero risk. Now, I know it's for a period of time. This expires, and then you've got to figure out what to do from there. But that's part of what we teach you in the adjustment processes. We will teach you exactly how and when to make an adjustment to this trade. Let's talk a little bit more about adjusting trades. Some people don't like to own the stock. It's a little more expensive. They'd rather trade options only. Here's what I hear over and over again. I've been hearing this for a couple of decades. I've been hearing people have this same problem. This is not something that's just happened in the last 8 weeks when the markets pulled back. This is not something that just happened in 2008. This is not something that just happens to some people. I hear this more often than anything else I hear from people who are looking at our program and having conversations with me. They place several trades and they make money on 3 trades, and the 4th one they lose, and they end up taking a net loss overall. Because each time they make money on a trade, they add it to what they started with so that they're placing the next trade with a little more money. And then they take that amount and they add it to that, and they're starting the next trade with a little more money. And that's good. That's a good thing to do. You're growing your portfolio faster. You're compounding your profits. That's a good thing to do. The problem is they get into that third or fourth or fifth trade, there's a little more money on it. And when it all of a sudden goes against you, when you're trading with options only, or if you're trading in Forex or you're trading futures or commodities, you can have a small movement in the price of that stock against what you wanted it to do, cause a really, really big loss. And in the blink of an eye, you're down 50, 60, 70, 80%. And if you don't know how to adjust that losing trade back to a break even or a profitable trade, this is what I hear over and over and over again. 3 out of 4, 5 out of 6, 9 out of 10 trades that I'm placing are making money, but I'm losing money overall, or I'm break even, or I'm making a fraction of what I think I should be making. When you learn how to adjust a trade, when you learn how to fix that losing trade, that's the simplest definition I could give you of adjusting a trade, is learning how to fix a losing trade. Instead of just taking the loss and moving on to the next trade, hoping that it makes up for that loss plus some, you fix the losing trade so that it's not a loss anymore, or so that it's such a small loss that it doesn't matter if 1 out of 4 trades is losing, because 3 out of 4 are making good money, and the 1 in 4 that's losing is losing such a fractional amount that you're still up overall. When you learn how to do this same type of trading with trade adjusting, you get to that third trade that goes, or excuse me, that fourth trade that goes against you. And because you knew how to set it up correctly and you knew how to adjust it, you end up with a 0 loss. And instead of 3 out of 4 trades having you down 13% to the negative side, you're way up here profitable, a huge difference in how much profit you have. And you may not have made money on that trade, but you learned how to not lose money on it. When the markets turned against us about 8 weeks ago, when we had that sudden turn and the markets were selling off, maybe 9 weeks ago now, we had a couple of option trades that went against us. And in the blink of an eye, we had a couple of trades that were down 80 and 90%. We didn't close the trades with an 80 or 90% loss. That's what wipes out all of these profits ahead of that. We made adjustments to these trades. And the first adjustment we made cut these losses to about a 35 to 40% loss. And a second adjustment wiped it out to where we got back to break even in those trades. We weren't profitable, but we didn't take a loss. And since then, we've put on multiple trades that are profitable. So our overall profit is really nice right now, way higher than the market averages for this year. And it's because we knew how to adjust a trade. One of the main things we focus on at Safe Option Strategy, and these are screenshots that come right out of our education program, we teach you how and when to adjust a trade, how to look for the right technical indicators and time the adjustments of these trades. This is a big part of what we do. If you combine the process of how to set up zero risk trades, and then you learn how to adjust trades, you're never going to be afraid of one of these black swan events like we got 2 months ago when this pandemic started and everyone got scared and everyone sold everything and the stock markets went careening down. You don't have to be afraid of things like that anymore. And when the markets are going the direction you want, you can make a lot more profit than you would have otherwise. Folks, there has not been a single year going back to 2008 and before that we have not either doubled or come very close to doubling what the market averages were. And some years we've more than tripled the market averages. This is not get rich quick. I'm not telling people they can take $2,000 and turn it into $2 million. I'm telling you, you can crush the market averages and be safe. And what is it worth to sleep well at night? When I set up these risk-free trades with my students of Safe Option Strategies, no one loses sleep at night. We don't worry about the 700-point drop at the open of the market tomorrow. We don't worry that just at the time when we think we're set up to take advantage of a downward movement, the Dow Jones is up 2,000 points in one day. We don't worry about things like that because we set up trades that are zero risk to begin with, or there's a little bit of risk in the trade and we know how to adjust it if it goes against us. One of the hardest things with investment education, this is one of the flaws in my industry, is you find a company that will teach you a lot of good principles and they'll teach you some different strategies, but they won't get in the trenches with you and trade with you. Or they'll give you an advisory service. They'll give you picks. They'll tell you this is a good time to buy this index fund, or this is a good time to go short on this stock, or this is a good time to open this trade. And then once they've done that, they leave you hanging. You've got nothing after that. You don't have a complete and thorough understanding of how it works and why you're doing that. Or someone's teaching you the why, but they're not helping you with it. Imagine these two scenarios, because here's another way to look at these two scenarios I just described. Let's say you're trying to learn to swim, okay? And one person is saying, I'm going to give you a book, and it's got some nice pictures in it, and it's got an explanation of what you need to learn so that you can be a good swimmer. And there's the book. Go for it. You decide when to get in the water, and good luck to you. I hope you don't drown. The book teaches you everything you need to know, so you should be fine. Okay, that's the first scenario. That's someone teaching you the concepts and teaching you the principles, but not getting in the water with you to make sure you don't drown. Now, the other method is, hey, now's a good time, jump in the water. And you get a shove from behind and you're pushed into the water, and the person sits up there on the side of the pool or beside the bank of the river and says, come on, swim. And maybe out of pure survival, you'll swim, but chances are, if you've never been taught anything, you're going to drown. What you need is someone who can teach you all the things you need to know and understand to swim, and then they will get in the water with you and stand next to you in the water and say, okay, I've got a hold of you. I'm not going to let you go until I know you've got it. And if I let you go and I sense that you're going under, I'm right here to pull you back up and make sure you can still breathe. And we'll teach you how to swim. We'll teach you everything you need to know how to swim, and we'll get in the pool and swim with you. Folks, the way to, you can learn how to make money and actually start making money at the same time. And that's what we do at Safe Option Strategies. We teach you all the basics of how the market works. This is all the stuff you can find for free on our website. We'll teach you everything you need to know to understand the markets and how options work and how the basics of trading work. Then for those people who become a member of our program, we'll teach you the strategies. We will teach you how to do the different trades and teach you all the components of it. Why would I do this trade at this time, and why wouldn't I do this trade at this time? Why would I choose this trade over this trade? Why would I wait until I see these indicators? We'll teach you all of that. But in addition to that, we trade with you. Our students get new trades multiple times every week. We set up the trade and detail the trade. This is where to get in. This is the strike prices you're going to use. This is how to set up the trade. This is why we're choosing this trade at this time. Here's what we're going to do when it comes time to make an adjustment. If we need to make an adjustment, we're going to send that out to you and show you exactly when and where and how to adjust. We're teaching it to you through all the classes, but we're going to help you do it when the time is right to do it. And so in addition to teaching you the concepts, we trade with you. We give you live updates every single day. We hold live classes. And because not everybody's schedule is the same and you can't always be there online to view the class when it's live, it always gets recorded and it always gets posted to our members' website so that every single day you get an update on those trades that we're doing. That's what we talk about in these live classes, is the trading that we are doing with you right now. We have unparalleled support in this industry. Folks, you've gotten to the end. We're at the end now. I told you this wouldn't be a very long presentation. We have a course at Safe Option Strategies that is specifically for the zero risk collar trades. We have a course at Safe Option Strategies that is specifically for the option only trading. Many of these option strategies can be applied to futures and commodities. I don't teach Forex. Listen, if you got nothing else out of this program, I'm going to tell you right now, stay a million miles away from Forex. The people who claim to make money in Forex are the same people that lose everything they have in Forex. It is unpredictable. It is, anyways, I won't do Forex trading. If that's your shtick, we're not the right company for you. I wish you the best. I wish you nothing but luck. But if you want to do options only trading and have strategies that you can apply toward commodities and futures, you can do it, ETFs. And most people that join our program combine these two courses and learn it all, and I think that's the smart way to do it. But if you wanted to do the collar trade course or the spread trade course by itself, we have very simple, very upfront pricing. And remember what I told you at the beginning of this presentation? I'm not getting people in the door for $50 a month or for $500 and selling them a little tiny part of the program. I'm not doing that. That's not what I do. This is the most you could pay me for my program. I always offer a discount if you combine the two courses and do the complete course. I always give a nice little discount if you combine it. But I told you if you stayed until the end of this presentation, I would show you a way to save money off of this. And it's this simple. Okay, I'll make it really easy for you. Below that you're viewing this video on a web page, down below the video is a form. If you will fill in this form, do not send me, this is an optional field. You do not have to put anything there for a phone number. If you put a phone number right here, we will call you back. You do not have to put a phone number, but we need to know who we're conversing with. We need to have a valid email address, and you can ask any questions you want. If you will fill out this form, it'll take you less than a minute. And that includes if you have a lengthy question to type, it'll still take you less than a minute. Fill out this form and hit the submit button, and we will get back a hold of you. Or if you would prefer, call us. If you would rather, give us a call. If we don't answer, please leave a message. We will call you back. Ask us any questions you want about this program. Ask any questions you want about our education. Just for taking the time to fill in that form and emailing us or calling us, and if someone doesn't answer, leave a message. Just for doing that, I will give you a pretty sizable discount over the prices that you saw on that previous page. And I'll leave it up to you if you want to join the program or not. I don't hire any salespeople, folks. If you call, you're going to talk to me or you're going to talk to one of my employees who can answer questions about what we do and how we do it. But no one here is going to try and sell you this program. You've heard the biggest sales pitch I'm ever going to give, and that is if you'll call or if you'll fill out that form and email, I'll give you a big discount off of these prices. I think I'll surprise you with the discount, and I'll keep it very simple and very upfront. That's the closest you're ever going to get to a sales pitch. You'll decide if this program is a good fit for you. I'll answer any questions you have about the program. Folks, we give an unconditional guarantee to this program that you will like it and it will help you make money or you'll get your money back. We put that in writing for you. You will not find a more complete education program with better support than you'll find with Safe Option Strategies. I know you may have spent money on another program. I know you may feel like the timing is not right to do this, but I'm telling you folks, there's never going to be a better time to do this. Learn now how to protect your money, learn how to grow it under any market conditions, and start growing your money with some peace of mind and free of stress. Let me help you do it. I hope to hear from you. If not, I wish you the best of luck. Bye-bye.